Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I've been quite busy recently, which has limited my time for remote viewing and contributing to the channel as much as I'd like. But don't worry, I'm back with some exciting updates and content for you all. Before we dive into today's session, I want to let you know about an upcoming video where I will be going through the point and shoot experiment results for the Euro 2024 Soccer Cup. So stay tuned for that, it's going to be fun. Now, let's focus on the subject of the day, my latest remote viewing session done on the 2nd of July 2024. It's not the greatest session I've had, but it's still quite intriguing. I did a quick one up until Phase 6, and the amazing part is that even though the session itself is not that great, the information gathered in the latest phase, Phase 6, is really on target and on point. The target actually doesn't really have a picture feedback and is more a historical concept. The target for this remote viewing session was the Pheidippides run or race after the marathon battle. For those who might not be familiar with this historical event, let me give you a brief overview. Pheidippides was a Greek messenger who is said to have run from the battlefield of Marathon to Athens to deliver news of the victory over the Persians in 490 BCE. According to legend, he ran approximately 26 miles, or 42 kilometers, without stopping, announced, "We have won," and then collapsed and died from exhaustion. This historic run is the inspiration for the modern marathon race. Now, let's dive into the session. I consider this session as medium target contact. I won't go into all the details as I usually do, but you can download the full session from my website if you want to go deeper. I start the session with the standard ideogram decoding process and get the gestalt of aqueous and artificial. I do a second ideogram and get the same gestalt, so I stop there. We start the session with the assumption that the target is somehow aqueous and artificial, meaning man-made. In my Phase 2, I get a lot of descriptors related to aqueous or liquid, which in turn give me the AOL of holiday and pool. I struggled quite a bit to get rid of this concept, but I eventually got correct data in the later stages. I'll let you check my Phase 2 out for a bit. I did have a very strong pain in my palm at this stage, which was weird. Let's dive into my Phase 3 where I do some sketches. With my face view, I get structures surrounding a more rectangular flat structure which I struggle to not classify as a pool. In my top view, I enlarge it a bit more and perceive some vegetation on the sides as well. I then probe for a distinct element at the target and get this circular shaped object for which I get the AOL of a lifebelt because of my obsession with the pool at this point. For what it's worth, statues of Pheidippides are depicted holding a big circular shield, as you can see in the picture here. I then probe for an intuitive view and get some kind of pathway going under some type of structure. This is already much better data as it can represent the pathway of Pheidippides' run. I then decide to finish my Phase 3 by probing my two gestalts. I start with the artificial and get structures along a road. I then probe the aqueous gestalt and get the perceptions of something running or flowing. Now it's getting interesting. I have been lazy on my summaries in this session, but this is how my first intermediary summary goes. The target is aqueous and artificial. It has elements of or is mainly balanced, through going, crossing, laughter, movement, running. Let's dive into my Phase 4. I start by probing the crossing concept. I get straight, continuous, long, unidirectional and agitated, and then render a small sketch of a road or pathway. It is curved, strong and pushing is perceived. I then proceed to probe agitated. I get loud, fear, moving, clash, collision, laughter, game, excitement, fun, and continue with laughter. I note an AOL on the signal line of an activity implying a game of some sort. This may be far-fetched, but I think this may be linked to the marathon war. War is definitely not a game for me, but can be perceived as such, especially if the subconscious is trying to protect the viewer. In a war, there is strategy, gameplay, and eventually laughter and excitement for the winner. Let's move to the moving probe. I sense movement, continuous, unidirectional, black, aqueous, liquid, and get an AOL of a boat race. I then perceive the concepts of rapidity and temporal and get an AOL of a race. Interesting data. I continue by perceiving splash, splatter, sun and vast. I continue my probing with running. I perceive fast, strong, compression and game. To end my Phase 4, I probe my gestalts, and the interesting part of the aqueous gestalt is that the perceptions are of liquid, humid, sweating, continuous, isolating, vaguing, advancing and going forward. It seems to be an activity with water or a summer activity. I now understand that the aqueous gestalt is the excessive amounts of sweating that happens and that is omnipresent during a marathon run. I close my phase 4 and write a second short intermediary summary. It goes as follows: the target is or has elements of curved, agitation, movement, it's funny, it's fun, it's a game or a summer activity. There is movement and there is rapidity. For my phase 5, I will try to focus on the liquid aspect, the game activity and the rapidity concept. For phase 6 I will focus on the main tangible of structures to start with. My translations were not rendered preferably and words are collated and I apologize for this. Nevertheless, I'm not convinced about the value of phase 5 for now, and in this session I don't feel it brings additional value, so I'll let you check it out for a bit but not comment on anything. Let's dive into my very quick phase 6 to finish this session. Again, I don't know what happened after rendering my PDF translation, but it's not going for a line break when it should. I'll be more thorough next time. So I set my focus on the main tangible that I chose and probe structures. I play with modeling clay at the same time as I probe for data and question myself. What I perceive is square, angular, multiple, circular, circulating and an AOL of a pool that still sticks with me, so at this point, I'm sure it's not a pool. I then get pathway and malleable and sketch intuitively. I continue with natural, road, arrival, hot, sweating, water, tar and smooth. I end by sketching a pathway with an arrival concept. Pretty good ending in my humble opinion. That's it for the Pheidippides race. Thank you all for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates, including the upcoming video on the Euro 2024 Soccer Cup experiment results. I appreciate all your support and feedback. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.